This might be one you guys want to stick around for. You see, I came into some very old, well, not so old, but vintage vinyl records. Got a bunch of them, including some of the stuff like you're hearing in the background here, some house music, some club music, all 12-inch singles, and we're going to play some of them here. Obviously can't play too much from them, but I can certainly sample things. Well, check this out. I was just given a fair little stack of some vinyl records, and I thought it might be cool to go through some of these today, and we'll play some samples. Now obviously I can't play very long clips from here because I don't need to get hit with copyright, but some of these things are pretty obscure, you know, like when you get something like this, you know, it's like, what is this? It's a record, and this is how it came. There's no jacket. It's just, I was gonna say, this is the mother load, but somebody paid $17 for this record, you know, back in the 70s or 80s. That's a lot of money for a record back in the 80s. I remember buying records for down at A&B Sound. I remember buying records for like $2.99. $16 for an album was almost unheard of. I mean, today people pay ludicrous amounts of money for vinyl, but you know, to pay $16 for a vinyl back in the day, that was a lot of money. I remember the most expensive record album I ever bought was one that was put up by Mobile Fidelity, and I think I paid like $20, $22, $23 for it, and I thought that was a ludicrous amount of money to pay for a record back in the early 80s. But anyway, I'm going to go drag out my turntable. I'll grab my Thorns. I'm going to plug it into my vacuum tube preamp, and we're going to plug it directly into the camera, and we're going to take a little listen to some of this vinyl. Some of this obscure stuff. Should be a fun one. Stick around. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to clean the record, because, you know, a playing requires taking some of the surface dust off of it first. So the first one I'm going to look at here is actually the wrong side. I put the B side up first, but we're going to take a quick sample to this one. It's called Mark Bell featuring Black Cat. This one's called Revolution. And we're going to take the sound right off of the turntable through my little preamp. I've got a little vacuum tube preamp over here, so we're going to go through that and directly into the camera for the best sound that I can give you off of this vinyl. Let's take a listen. Well, that was certainly different. I wasn't expecting that, but that was actually pretty damn cool. I always wanted to take a listen to side A, because of course I played side B first, right? So let's take a listen to side A, and we'll continue this listening party. And I'm going to see how much I can get away with actually playing off this album or off this single, because it's not an album, it's a 12-inch single. And I'm going to see how much I can get. This is the ultimate in cello music. I mean, it's it brings me back to the old days when you put on the FM radio station, and the guys would just drop the needle and let it play. And back in the 70s, you'd light up something, let's say, to soothe the mind, and let this play. Not that I've ever experienced that, but that I understand is what people would do. They'd put on something like this, and they'd light something up and enjoy it. And I'm going to light this up and enjoy this one. Here's side A, or what I can play of side A from the same EP, or I guess we'll call this a single. It's called Revolution. That one was interesting too. I don't know how much of this I can actually play. I'm going to cut this down, obviously, because I don't want to pull any copyright strike. Look at this. I guess that's just my lights in there, but you can see as it rotates, you can see where the beats are on here, just from the way that the groove has been cut. I also found that this record here has been recorded at such a loud level that on a few occasions, I guess my tracking is not set quite heavy enough. It actually sounded like the needle jumped out of the groove there momentarily on some loud bass. But anyway, we'll try a few more samples. As I say, I wish I could play the whole album. I can't, because obviously I'm going to get in a little bit of trouble, but I'm going to try and cut together something out of this that you guys can get a sample of some of this obscure stuff that is not all that popular, but of course was played in the club scene. This next one, it's on Shimmer Records. We'll see what this one is.
You'll probably notice that I'm going to start losing my patience with some of the stuff because I find that a lot of the stuff grates on the nerves after you've listened to it for a couple minutes. It all starts sounding the same, and it's over the top. It's over the top. Sometimes it started out cool. First when I listened to that, it's not bad stuff. By the time I got to the second or third record, I was like, okay, I think I've had enough of this. And my patience is wearing thin with this one as it is. But there's a few others out there that are kind of, see, look, dropping the needle on the record. You guys notice that or not, but my needle was actually jumping forward. I'm going to have to set my anti-skate a little higher on this. I'm set for 2 grams now, so I'm going to reset for 2.5 grams, and hopefully that'll stop this thing from skipping in, because the levels are recorded so high on these 12-inch singles that it has a tendency to actually kick the needle out of the groove and it jumps forward. So I'm just going to reset my my tone arm balance here a bit to go a little heavier on the downward force on the stylus, and set my anti-skate. It's all done by just adjusting this little weight here at the back. I have to move it down to the next notch, and we'll set that up a little higher, and then maybe the next one won't skip like these first few have. So here's another one. Of course, this one's got a big copyright logo right on it, so we're going to keep this pretty short, what I'm going to play on this, because I'm sure this one being Warner Brothers or Warner Music UK, this one here will certainly draw some attention, I'm sure. As you can see, the person that bought this one paid $12.95 for it, so these were not inexpensive vinyls. Let's say I got a whole stack of them. Now, not all of them are these club type records. A lot of them are actual commercial vinyls. So we may go through what I received at another time. I just wanted to play a few of these ones, some clips from some of these obscure ones that most people probably have not heard of before. this one's a little different. This one, as you notice, it's this one's a 45 RPM. This thing takes forever to get up to speed. But it does eventually get up to speed. Let's take a listen to this one. Now, I don't know, like, I'm only playing little samples here because I don't want to get hit with copyright. But if there's interest in this, I'll put the entire tracks up onto a non-monetized channel. I've access to another channel that's not linked to my account. So if there's enough request, I'll put this up in its entirety for people who want to hear the whole album. And I'll put it up on my non-monetized channel. And it'll be available for patrons only. So if there's enough demand and people want this, I'll consider posting the entire this stuff on my non-monetized channel that is not linked to me in any way, so if it gets hit with a copyright strike, it won't affect the status of this channel. This one's called DJ Gordon's Moonshine Boogie. To get a bit of the crap off this one first. You see, these records were sitting in storage for God knows how long before they were handed off to me and said, here, take them. So, yeah, some interesting stuff. Interesting stuff just on these these club records are kind of cool. Let's take a listen to this one. somehow I think this was supposed to be 45, even though I don't see any designation of 45 printed on it anywhere, but I think this one's supposed to be 45. No, actually, I think it's 33. We had the voice on there. It sounded a little bit high-pitched, so maybe it is 33. Usually the ones that are 45 say it, but let's listen to the other side. I got a few more of these things just a sample here, and then we'll call this one a day. This is going on a while. I didn't realize I had as many of these club records as I did, but man, there's a pile of them here. Check that one out for a small lead out groove. Like this one was recorded pretty much to the limit for vinyl, and I wonder how many automatic turntables will be picking up the arm before it hit the lead out groove, because that is incredible. Look at how close that is. Like, you know, there's the lead out groove there. It's like a quarter of a turn and we're in the lead out groove. That's pretty much pushing it to the limit. I like this. On Havoc Records, Dirty Blonde and Dave the Drummer have 18. This side, Return of Stratford Wives, and that side, Cunning Stunt. And from 2001. So this would be considered recent vintage for vinyl. It never really went away, did it, right? It just kind of went underground for the clubs and stuff. Let's take a listen to that. I got a few more, and then that'll do it for this little sampling. But say I got a big stack of records to go through. I figured I'd go through these the lesser known ones, and we'll leave the popular ones because we've all heard that before. You can probably tell by how quick that one came off that this one's going to be turned into a frisbee about as fast as the Culture Club album that's in the stack. I think this one might be going away. No, I'm not going to smash them up or anything, but I'm going to go through this pile of records, and the stuff that I want to keep, I'm going to keep, and the crap that I don't want, that I'll never ever ever listen to more than maybe once, and this is probably one of them, is going to get passed on to somebody else. I'm going to do with it what the original owner was going to do with these records before they gave them to me. They were going to give them to a thrift store, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. So anything that I don't want is going to end up down at Value Village or one of the other thrift stores where anybody else that's into this stuff can buy it. But anyway, that's that one. I got a few more here. Let's get the next one up. This one's called The Chemical Brothers.
Music that triggers some kind of response. Response. Music.
That does it. That's all I'm going to play here because I've run out of these off-labeled records, and I'm out of memory on my memory card. So I hope you guys stuck around to the end of this thing to see what we had, and hope I'm not going to pull any copyrights. I'm going to try to keep this within the limits so I don't have to worry about any problems. But that's it. That's the club records I was given. As I say, I got a stack of probably 150 records here to go through. And this was just a sample of some of the lesser known records. And I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you again real soon. Bye for now.